And I will say I have never been more scared for two people to watch anything I've done ever than this. So
And we'll start with you, John, because it's so one of those things that I watched and I just went, it's such a genius idea, but it's so simple. It's one of those things that afterwards you go, how did nobody think of this? You know, how did you think of this? Because it's so clever, but it's just one of those brilliant, simple ideas.
thank you very much. I owe it all to my kids. I made a movie for my kids. I was a dad standing at the threshold of a door watching girls go into this magical place that I wasn't invited to. And they were having so much fun and they were so happy. But they were also so authentic. They were clearly in some other place. They weren't in our living room. They were somewhere magical in their heads. And then the pandemic hit, and I always knew I wanted to do something with imaginary friends. Then the pandemic hit, and I watched them do fewer and fewer imaginary games, and they started to ask questions about the world. And then one day they said, "Are we going to be okay?" And I just thought, that's it. I got to write this movie now to let them know that that magical world that they created, they can go back to anytime they want. And it's all living within them, and that they can, everybody has bad days. And when you have a bad day, just remember how much good there is in the world and how much warmth there is in that magical place that you have. And you can always go back.
Yeah. And in the center of this universe, of course, Cailey is your character. I mean, when did you hear that you like officially had the role, you were going to be doing this? Because generally you are at the center of this whole thing.
Wow, that's a big head nod.
100%.
I was in Georgia. We were filming the last season of Walking Dead, and I actually had decided I was going to take a break from acting, and I wanted to go to high school just because I wanted to experience it, and I knew I couldn't go back to high school. So that's what I had decided I was going to do. I was very firm in my decision, but then John came along, and we had a Zoom call, and then I went to the office, and we did some scenes. We did the train scene with me and Ryan, and then me and you in the hospital.
That's right.
And I was so nervous. And then I went back to Georgia, and we had a Zoom meeting scheduled, and I had no idea what you were going to tell me. I was so scared. And I had a sweater on because, you know, it's a Zoom, so you can only see like waist up. And then I had my pajama pants on, and they were red, little boy stormtrooper pajama pants. And I'll never forget, he offered me the role and then complimented my pants because I sat like this, because of course I did. And I was so embarrassed, but then we hung up the call, and me and my mom went and jumped in circles.
Oh,
I'm not lying.
Love it.
Really glad that you brought it up, that she's the center of the movie. I'll be honest, I think the movie works because of her. I think that when I had the idea for the movie, I knew it was ambitious and I knew it could go wrong 150 different ways. But the number one way it could go wrong is if you couldn't find someone to play this part, because the entire movie revolves around her. And I think she pulled off something that's not only a brilliant performance, but it's magic, because she is not only the kid in the movie that every kid wants to be, but she's the kid that is the invite for every adult watching the movie, that you can go back and that you can become this little girl again. And it was amazing to watch. And I'm lucky to have met her, because I don't think the movie exists without her.
Wow. And then you mentioned your kids at the start then. So I'm wondering, have they seen it yet? If they inspired this whole thing? And are you nervous if they haven't?
They have not, and nervous doesn't categorize where I am. I think just I might black out, but they are going to see it in about 5 days. We're going to do a little family screening, and they've been a part of it from the beginning. So I told them the idea. I showed them the drawings that I had. I'm a terrible artist, but I drew all the characters as I was writing. They met Cailey the second we cast Cailey. They came to set a couple times. And so this movie really has been living with them for a long time too. And I will say, I have never been more scared for two people to watch anything I've done ever than this. So I'll let you know how it goes. If I'm around, it's because they liked it. If it's not, it's because I exploded.
I love it. Cailey, you also have a lot of scenes, obviously, with Ryan Reynolds. He's a bit of a legend. So I was wondering, what is he like to work with? And do you like, is he as much of a joker as we all imagine in real life as we see on all these movies and TVs?
I think so. Any day Ryan was on set, I was almost dying laughing. I can guarantee it. But I think he was just like the best partner in crime. Obviously, a lot of our stuff was together, so I got very lucky. I think we have a lot in common. And he's very, very sweet, and he has a huge heart, and I think you get to see that a lot in this movie.
Okay. Amazing. Well, listen, thanks so much for talking to me. John, we already knew you're an amazing actor and director. Cailey, I loved you in this. You're like amazing. Keep acting. I know you've got loads of options, but like keep acting. We loved you. See you later, guys.
That's awesome. Thank you.
See you.